Hi guys, Chef Chelsea here. Listen, we're starting to get into more technical kinds of cooking, so I thought that it would be a great opportunity to show you some of my favorite tips, tricks, and hacks when working with sugar. So some of these are really fun, and some of them are just super useful so that you don't have to have so many tools and you don't have to do so much cleanup. All right, I hope it helps, and I look forward to you trying them out yourself. Best of luck and sweet success. Always beginning with a very clean pot and clean sugar. Mine is organic this time. Corn syrup or glucose syrup. I don't recommend things like honey or agave in this instance. A little bit of water and of course a handy thermometer. So then you're going to grab a couple of slotted spoons, making sure they're metal. I even could recommend using a spoon that has a hanging hole. That'll work just as well. We're going to add the sugar to the pot and then a little bit of the corn syrup. After you add the corn syrup, you're going to drizzle the water down the sides, making sure to avoid getting any crystals of sugar on the sides of the pot. You only want to get the sugar wet enough, like a wet sand consistency. The more water you add, the more water you have to evaporate. You definitely want to avoid any of those crystals on the side of the pot. If that does happen to you, you're going to use a clean pastry brush. I recommend keeping one only for use in water, and simply brush down the sides of the pot. I find if you have a clean pot, clean sugar, and you have no crystals on the side, you do not have to continually brush down the sides of the pot. You're just going to turn it on high heat and let it go. Once you have your pot ready, you put it on the highest heat possible and you let it go. You do not want to stir this in order to avoid activating any crystals. Crystallization can happen very easily even when you have white refined sugar, so the use of corn syrup is always a good practice. Make sure that you are checking your temperature once you start to get a very, very quick boil. This doesn't take long at all. To ensure the proper read on an instant read thermometer, be sure that you insert the thermometer probe at least a third of the way up. Make sure you also wait at least 5 seconds to allow the temperature to rise and settle. Now for the fun part. Just like when you were blowing bubbles as a kid, you do want to dip it into the solution and blow firm yet steady. Give it a couple of tries to make sure that you're getting a nice bubble, and that should be 240 degrees Fahrenheit, your softball stage. When checking for proper temperature, remember again to insert the probe far enough into the material and wait for about 5 seconds for the temperature to settle into place. Moving on to the hacks. If you find that you don't need to use the sugar, perhaps it crystallized, maybe it caramelized, just add some water to your sugar in the pot and continue boiling. It's really important to bring it to a full rolling boil before you turn it off. Of course, I probably don't need to tell you, you're going to want it to cool completely before you use it. When it comes to cleaning the pot, I also recommend cleaning your tools at the very same time. Remember that sugar dissolves in water, so it's a very easy cleanup. Even what's on my countertop just sat underneath a wet cloth for a few minutes and wiped away easy. I bring water to a boil with the tool inside, with the exception of my thermometer, of course. I just sort of wiggle it around in the hot water, wipe it off, and it's good to go. Lastly, I want to share with you one of my favorite tools in the pastry kitchen. This is called a soaker. You can put any flavored syrup inside and you can easily douse your product with a lot of liquid at the same time without having to use a pastry brush or just a regular squeeze bottle. It's got a little shower head for the top and it really makes easy work of everything. Be sure you let your simple syrup cool completely before you add it to your plastic bottle, however.